If you've ever read the comments on some YouTube shorts, you're gonna start realizing that there are some severely low IQ individuals in these comments. And for a little bit I was posting some YouTube shorts to try to get more people to find my videos. What ended up happening was I actually just started getting annoyed with the idiots in my comments. They would just try to dispute the points I make with nothing to back their claims. So anyways, let's get into some really stupid YouTube shorts comments that unfortunately people decided to comment on my videos. All right, so my first video here, I made it a while ago. I'm not really sure the date. Anyways, it's a guy talking about tax write-offs and how you can write stuff off. So let's watch the short here.
If we go to dinner and dinner, like yesterday, dinner was like $1,200, I can write it off.
Yeah, yesterday dinner was $1,200. I could write that off. Are we forgetting that write-offs don't equal free? And second of all, no, you can't. So yeah, I mean, obviously, I think you kind of get the point. I just was like, you can't write that off and this and that. I did take my CPA exams and pass them, so I would say I'm somewhat credible. Plus, in the full YouTube video, I did go into the IRS tax code and explain why this isn't credible, which if you clicked on the video based on this, you would know that. Let's get into the first YouTube comment that I got here. Yes, you can. If it is related to trades or business, it can be a write-off. I'm just here saying it's not impossible. Guaranteed there's people that have done it because it's a thing, and he's in all caps just getting all mad for no reason. So it's actually funny because I explain with the tax code why a $1,200 dinner cannot be written off, and if this guy clicked on my video, he'd actually know that, but instead he's just commenting this stuff. And you know what? I bet this guy has not studied any accounting. He's probably never studied any tax law and has no idea what he's talking about. Guess what? Yes, I guess people have written off dinners. I'm not saying it's impossible, but this random streamer here is not able to write off a $1,200 dinner.
Like yesterday, dinner was like $1,200. I can write it off.
I'm still standing on my point, and you're wrong. Let's get into the next comment. Okay, so this idiot again says, can't write it off. You can write off the taxes you paid on it. Okay, so I'm not sure if he's saying that you can write it off and not pay taxes on it, or you can do a tax write-off on the taxes paid on the dinner. First of all, no, you can't do either of those, like I said earlier. But second of all, what are you talking about? What do you mean you can't write off the taxes you paid on it? That sentence is confusing. But if he's saying that you can write off the taxes paid on the dinner, you can't. But second of all, it's such a small portion of the check that you're writing off that it does not really matter. I'm not really sure what this guy's point here was, and I also don't think this guy understands basic tax law, which I think is fine. A lot of the point of this video was to, kind of educate people on that, but if you don't know it and you're commenting this stuff to prove me wrong, I want to know why I'm wrong, not just, oh, well, it's possible with no reason. I mean, I open up the IRS code in this video and talk about why it's impossible, so I don't know what is wrong with these people. So yeah, I actually responded to this dude's comment and say, you can't do that either. And the same guy from the first comment is like, don't listen to bro. He's acting like this is physically impossible. No one has ever done this before ever. It's a thing, bud. First of all, why are you trying to ego me by calling me bud? Second of all, I didn't say it was physically impossible to write off a dinner. I just said in this guy's scenario, right? He's not writing off a $1,200 dinner. I mean, this guy's not even a business owner. He looks like a streamer from what I can see. And like I said, if you want to give me real reasons on why it's possible, if you watch the video, look at my explanation, you want to comment that, and you're right, I will admit that I'm wrong, which I'm not. But if you want to actually prove me wrong, then do it. But don't just be like, you're wrong, you're wrong, you're wrong. Okay, so luckily I don't post a lot of shorts, so I don't have too many comments to go into. The next ones are just on this one video, basically of these people trying to say, oh, C students are business owners and A students work for them. And in this clip, here, you'll see it's basically talking about statistics. So let's get into it.
Statistically, the richest people in the world were not A students. They weren't B students. Most of them were C students. The reason why they're C students is because they never bought into the vision of the way the world was. That's why entrepreneurs create a better world that everybody else gets to live in.
Statistically, the richest people were C students. So let's look at the actual statistics of this claim and see what he's talking about here. So they actually studied this in China, and what they found was that for every 1 point your GPA went up, your starting salary increased around 30%, and then around, okay, so here I pull up a Chinese study, and I was like, okay, you know, most people watching my videos are probably from America, and I know that like jobs and things like that probably work a little differently, like based on like how much weight your grades are held at. So I pull up an American study here too. I studied this at the University of Miami, and what they found was that, again, for every 1 point your GPA goes up, your salary went up by around 13%. There's a pretty clear correlation that your grades do matter, and A students aren't typically working for C students. So then I get this stupid comment. They don't have an employer. They are the employer. That is the difference. I mean, yeah, I guess anyone can be like an employer, but I talk about this a lot in the video on why they're trying to appeal to lazy students. The people making these videos are trying to appeal to people that are falling behind in life and need a get-rich-quick scheme to catch up. And that's why they're trying to scam the C students, because the C students are dumb enough to fall for this stuff compared to A students. But yeah, he says they don't have an employer. They are the employer. That's the difference. Okay, guess what? The most successful employers in the world are probably A students too. I mentioned this in the video, but you really think someone with a history of being super lazy, where they're getting C's, just scraping by in life, is gonna become some super successful employer? You know, probably not. So that's a stupid take, and I'm talking about making more money. Just because you're an employer doesn't mean you actually make more money than an employee. Okay, so we got this guy here commenting, college dropouts. Bill Gates, Steve Jobs, Mark Zuckerberg, Larry Ellison, Michael Dell, Elon Musk. Okay, basically this super long list of college dropouts. And the funny thing about this list is not all of them, but a lot of them already had signs of success before they dropped out of college. A lot of them too, even like the ones that weren't having signs of like career success, like the Elon Musks and the Mark Zuckerbergs that were going to Ivy Leagues, were like very passionate in pursuing what they wanted for a really long time, working really hard on it. Even if they weren't seeing signs of success early on, if you went to like school and paid attention in your stats class, you'd actually know that you're not supposed to use outliers to make a generalization. When you say, oh, these people are college dropouts, yeah, that is true, but you know, even with them carrying the average salary, you know, people that went to college and actually finished it still on average make more money. So yeah, I thought that comment was kind of funny. The video is basically like, oh, like you need to take school serious because you're not actually gonna be successful if you're just some lazy student just scraping by. And this guy comments something where if he actually paid attention in school would know not to comment that, because that's wrong. To keep it more relatable for people that don't want to look up all these people's names. Let's say someone's arguing with me and I'm smoking cigarettes, right? They're like, dude, you shouldn't be doing that. That's gonna give you lung cancer. They pull up like, okay, statistically, like people that smoke cigarettes are 50% more likely or whatever. And I say, dude, I'm not gonna get lung cancer. I know a guy who smoked for 100 years and was fine. This one guy, this one example out of millions of people they've done data on somehow disproves the theory. If somehow one of these people commenting on my shorts sees this video, please comment down below and actually prove me wrong. But realistically, I doubt any of these people are gonna do this. I mean, I wouldn't consider myself that smart, but these comments are so dumb that I don't think these people could honestly prove anything to anyone. Yeah, I hope y'all liked my video. You know, drop a like, subscribe. Past 30 subscribers, can't lie, pretty excited about that. That's pretty nice. You know, next milestone would be 50. That'd be really sick. Then 100. Drop a like and subscribe and help me get there.